This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, everybody. I'm Ricardo Lightborn. It is great to have you with us tonight. Our top story now, let me tell you that Vice Chairman of the Grand Bahama Port Authority addressing the recent Memorandum of Understanding between the government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority for the first time today. Prime Minister Right Honorable Perry Christie announced in May that the government had agreed to extend concessions under the Hawksbill Creek Agreement related to the tax and business license fees for another 20 years, subject to certain conditions. Cleopatra Murphy tells us that executives are urging caution from officials as they seek to rebuild Grand Bahama.
Vice Chairman of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Sarah St. George, is encouraging government to practice caution in the drafting of the concession framework as it relates to the Hawksbill Creek Agreement, as she says the goal is to stimulate the Grand Bahama economy. Addressing a Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce luncheon, she highlighted the 2016-2017 budget that imposes a new processing fee at 25% for manifest changes reflected by sea or air freight ships. St. George says it will need clarification because the island is reliant on shipping, adding that over-regulation can sometimes have adverse effects.
I believe, and I think you all believe, that Freeport should be the free trade zone it was intended to be. We need to catch up with our competitors in the region. We need to add to the public purse through growth, not fees.
Speaking specifically to the Memorandum of Understanding recently signed between government and the GBPA, she says Grand Bahama has been in a state of flux and Freeport is very fragile, which is why it was astute of Prime Minister the Right Honorable Perry Christie to use a light hand and a long-term view. St. George says the MOU reflects inventive interaction as opposed to active intervention.
In ongoing commitments under the MOU, GBPA will undertake reasonably achievable social and infrastructure improvements. And remember, GBPA maintains Freeport on 5% of what Freeport sends to the National Treasury. Priorities include a means of expanding the non-US international and domestic airport.
She says the port will continue to attract investment to the island, cooperate and confer with government on its regulatory powers to ensure they are consistent with national policy. However, she voiced a concern with regard to IRCA.
We still have concerns over a proposed bill for IRCA to subsume GBPA's regulation of GBPC, the Grand Bahama Power Company. IRCA has no electricity framework yet. GBPA's utility regulatory framework was put in place in 2013.
She told members of the business community that they may not hear from her much, but that she and the GBPA are on their side. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
Now, Vice Chairman of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Sarah St. George, says that the 3-year tariff restructure last January will ensure the Grand Bahama Power Company can meet its demands for the next 3 years without any increase in electricity rates. She says that the island has realized some 7 to 12% reduction rates across different sectors, and those low-income households are under 29 cents per kilowatt hour.
I'd like to announce that we and GBPC have just successfully completed the Renewable Energy Rider, RER. So within a few weeks, customers will be able to sign up to a buy all, sell all renewable generation program and use their own solar or wind power.
Well, the Department of Island Revenue hosted a panel discussions for members of the Grand Bahama community to discuss initiatives to actually emerge from the 2016-2017 budget that affects the public. Among the issues surrounding the Real Property Tax Act that would impact people with arrears, Chief Valuation Officer of the Department of Inland Revenue, Roger Forbes, says residents can now have their surcharges or interest waived, so the department wants to actually create awareness.
There are also some persons who would have had approval under the 2002-2008 Stamp Amendment Act, and those documents would not have been stamped. There's a window of opportunity for those documents to now be stamped. And of course, we always want to keep persons abreast of what is happening as far as value-added tax is concerned.
Well, officials from the Bahamas Customs Department also participated in the meeting held at the St. Stephen's Parish Hall on 8 Mile Rock. Assistant Controller of Customs Sherrick Martin says the role was to inform residents outside the bonded area of the island and measures the government has introduced that will assist with their importation of capital goods.
What it has done is that goods for the persons who are offering or billing for the first time, that they can import their goods duty-free, and persons, for an example, who may venture into business, that they can also bring in their capital goods duty-free under the concessions. The concession is known as the East-West End Economic Development Regulations, and it's to assist those persons who are living outside the bonded area.
In other news, tonight, 2 weeks before the start of the lobster season, officials from the Department of Fisheries confiscated 3 bags of illegal lobster totaling nearly 100 pounds. Assistant Superintendent of Fisheries Clement Campbell says they received information of a boat loaded with lobster sometime after 5 p.m. at the Lucan Waterway near the Sir Jack Hayward Bridge on Thursday.
As we pull up, we notice a boat with about 15 persons on it, partially offload, not completely offload. So we identify ourselves to them. And during that process, some persons were standing around with their bags on the shoulder. There were still 3 persons on the boat, but more luggage was still on the boat. And the captain of the boat just speed off and gone. His name is McGarrett Russell. And that's who the police really want to see.
Well, Campbell is reminding the public that it is against the law to catch lobster while the season is closed, and if caught, they will be prosecuted. Campbell says he believes that it could have been about 500 pounds of product in the boat that simply got away.
If they could just wait another 2 weeks before the season opens, instead of taking the risk of getting locked up and fined and losing their boat and losing all their product, just wait till the season opens on August 1st. And it happened to be a Monday, a holiday. So it can't come no better than that. The closer it get to the opening season, that's when they start doing the foolishness. The closer it get to the opening season. Now they know it's like 2 weeks, oh, nobody's really checking like that. That's what they think. You know, we got Defense Force officers checking, we got Police Marine Patrol checking, we got Custom officers checking, we got the regular police checking. So if they think they're going to try this between now and August 1st, tell them don't try it.
Well, local government of Bimini is pursuing a renewed effort to beautify that island. Tonight, the island's chief counselor says that this initiative is for crucial importance to that island. Let's go to Cleopatra Murphy.
Chief Counselor of the Bimini District Council, Robbie Smith, says it is his goal to maintain the island's natural beauty and appeal by keeping the island clean. He is encouraging everyone to put their garbage in the trash.
We purchase a lot of bins. You'll see a lot of signs, no littering, and keep Bimini clean. So you'll see them all over the street now, and we're trying to clean up the streets a lot.
Near the government complex, several painted bins pushing that message have already been put in place. Smith says he and his council focused on the initiative due to concerns raised by tourists.
Working here on the marina and dealing with the tourists, and their number one cry always be, oh, we love Bimini. It's a nice place, but it's a little dirty. So that instilled in me, and when I became chief counselor 2 years ago, that was my main focus.
He says the council recently completed a 3-week island-wide cleanup with the assistance of students from the Louise McDonald High School. Those students are also painting more than 255-gallon bins that are stacked at the government complex and will be further distributed throughout the island once completed.
It's an attraction that anybody who wants to throw a bottle on the ground, I feel they would be more, say, well, let me put it in the bin. The bin looks so nice. So I feel that giving that flavor would give it more of people on Bimini. When they see the garbage bin, they will go to it and put the trash in instead of throwing it on the side of the streets.
With the island's economy dependent on tourists, Smith says it is important to maintain its beauty. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
Well, the high temperatures catching some residents off guard. The scorching heat is a bit of a challenge for those who work outdoors. Natalia Hall picks up the story.
There appears to be no letting up for the sizzling temperatures this summer. Temperatures continue to climb well into the 90s, with the heat index over 100 degrees. Residents are advised to drink lots of fluid to stay hydrated, but for those working outside beating the heat, it may not be as easy as you think. In fact, some say it's becoming intolerable.
Honestly, it is unbearable. It feels like the body's just throwing off water. And just got to keep an AC on somewhere in the house so that you can take a break.
It's very hot. I need to stay in the cool. I think everybody should stay in the cool because you get dehydrated very easily from the sun.
This heat so serious? See, I got my water right here, man. I ain't gonna lie, I thought I was gonna pass out earlier, but you know, I had to get me some water, man.
It's blazing hot today, you know. It's about what? It's in the the low 90s. Yeah, it's kind of scorching.
Residents say they have taken the advice and are consuming lots of fluid.
But I try to drink like 6 or 7 or 8 or something like that.
How much water do you drink per day?
Well, I drink, it depends, sometimes 6-8 cups.
About a gallon, 2 gallons.
These residents are encouraging others to remain safe during this heat wave.
I have an eye problem, like the sun bothers me a lot, so I wear my shades. And anybody else who like that. But it provides a little shade around the eye area too.
Wear hat and try to stay indoors as much as possible. You know, particularly when you're working outside, because you could dehydrate without recognizing it. So get a gallon of water, keep a gallon with you, 2 gallons if you have to. Like you say, 10 cups minimum.
It's Halia Hall, ZNS Network News.
And we got a break coming. Stay with us. We're not done yet.